the Self-Help Us podcast. Thank you for joining us. This is the podcast where we delve into the self-help category and talk about mental health, etc., all that comes with. So my name is Sophia.
And I'm Priya.
Today we're talking about Bored and Brilliance by Manoush Zomorodi, how spacing out can unlock your most creative and productive self.
Yeah, and basically she said that this book is a tool for teaching digital self-regulation and living a more conscious online existence. One thing that I thought it was just important to say right off the bat is that this book is more about how smartphones specifically cause the distractions and about phone overuse than like your entire digital life.
Yeah, the challenges that are outlined in the book specifically track your phone use. And over 7 days, you undertake a series of challenges that help you become a more conscious digital user. She's very insistent that it's not like a digital detox, quote unquote. It's about learning how the smartphone can take a place in your life and how you can be in control of it and not the other way around.
Yeah, like for instance, she says that there's like rapid, repetitive, and intense interactions that can take place on things like Facebook and Instagram that disconnect us from our sense of time and place. So like you go on Instagram, you start scrolling, and because it's literally like an endless scroll, you have no sense of time or anything, and you think it might have been, 5-10 minutes, when in reality it could have been up to 2 hours. And that actually happened to me before, where I'm like,
yeah, who hasn't it happened to?
It's just crazy. And like, I'm like in bed, I just woke up, I go on Instagram, I start scrolling, and then all of a sudden it's like an hour and a half after I woke up, and I'm like, where did I go? Like, that was, what the fuck? Like, that was crazy. It just was like, time suck. Totally.
Yeah. And we undertook like a sort of digital detox for ourselves before we even heard about this book. But it was really interesting, like comparing the behavior we had before and then undertaking these challenges.
Yeah, definitely.
So the first challenge is just observing yourself. The second is keeping your device out of reach when you're commuting. The third challenge is a photo-free day. On day 4, you delete an app that you use a lot. Day 5, you take a vacation, which is like when you turn off your notifications for however long you like. Day 6, you observe something else. And day 7, you do an exercise where you get bored and brilliant, where you do something boring, and then you try to think about a solution to a problem you're having. And this is based on a study that she talks about earlier in the book, where people do something boring, and then the study found that they actually found more creative uses of a normal object, such as a paper cup.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so apparently that default mode helps you unlock like a more creative place in your brain.
Mm-hmm. Which was your favorite day out of all 7?
My favorite day would have to be like observe something else day.
Mm-hmm. What'd you do?
So I just put my phone down and I was commuting. I observed like a dad and a son playing with a hat.
Wait, playing with a hat?
Mm-hmm.
What
like he
doing?
took the hat off his dad's head and he put it on his head.
Aww.
And then he took the hat off his head and he put it on his dad's head. And then like I happened to be standing in front of them like on the train, and I was like gripping the bar that helps you stay upright while the train is moving. So when he put it on his dad's head, he's like, what head can I use it on next? That was like what I thought his thought process was. And he tried to put it on my head. And I was like, no. Game over.
Oh my gosh. Kids are so funny.
Kids are the best.
They're so crazy.
I think they're default mode all the time, those kids.
Yeah.
Although less these days. She also talks about how like kids have... like technology is also a default part of their lives now, so they know how to swipe and they know how to use their phone, like way before we ever did, and it's like changing probably their brain in ways we don't even know yet.
Yeah, I mean, one thing that she definitely brought up was that the human brain is adapting almost too well to different attributes or characteristics of internet reading, like skimming and scrolling. And so as humans, we're starting to lose our ability to like slow read by giving up the practice of it, because none of us really dive into like deep like texts that are like really thick and hard to get through anymore, just because we have a different way of reading now. And so those texts that we would originally be able to dissect is proving to be so much more difficult for our like today brains to understand. But then she also says it's like a skill like anything else. So if you start to do it again, like over time you'll be able to build it back up. But the problem is that a lot of the kids nowadays, they've only read on technology. They've only read on like, you know, Kindles, iPads, phones, all that stuff. So they never actually initially developed any of those skills.
Yeah, and we're not anti-technology.
No, we love technology. We're from San Francisco, guys. Come
You're
on.
listening to this on a technology.
On a technology.
A parentheses 1 technology right now. So, yeah, it's just it's an interesting conversation to have, and we don't mean to be like, you know, endorsing like going back to the dark ages and
hell no.
and living away from your phone. This was just a really interesting exercise. Did you observe anything during your observing day?
Oh, yeah. So on my observation day, I actually took a walk along the Embarcadero by the water. Mm-hmm. And it was like a 5-ish mile walk. It was really nice because it was a beautiful day outside. And I just observed like families walking around with their kids and like the way the sun glinted off of the ocean. And it was just like such a nice experience. It was really just like relaxing and calming, and I was like able to not even touch my phone the entire time because I already knew like the direction of which I was walking.
Which is straight,
and it's just like one way. There's no turns. You just follow the water. Mm-hmm. So it was really nice.
Yeah, and doing our digital detox week from before, I think it was easier for us because we feel like we pre-gamed this challenge.
Yeah, we totally pre-gamed this challenge.
And on like the day when we were supposed to delete our most used app.
Oh yeah.
We saw both of our most used app, and it was the home screen. Like you can't delete that.
And then after the home screen, it was like messages or like navigation, and you're just like, well, I'm obviously not scrolling on navigation. It's not really a big time suck. I'm not like, let's go to Paris, France, and then spend like 2 hours looking at all the different streets. It's not my idea of a good time. I'm so sorry if I offended you if it is your good idea. But yeah, I mean, like, we originally came into this Bored and Brilliant 7-day challenge with like already a lot of work done. Mm-hmm. Which was really nice.
Yeah, it was really nice. It made us feel morally superior for like 2 seconds.
A little more than 2 seconds. For like the entire challenge, I felt morally superior.
For my third used app, though, it was YouTube, but it's only because like I listen to music on my commute, and me not being like a bourgeois Spotify premium user, Sorry, I was looking at Priya's face. It was so funny when she did that.
And I looked down right away because I was like, oh, she's calling me out. But that was my like other most used app was Spotify. But guys, it's just because I have a rain playlist to calm me down at night.
Yeah, what I find with Spotify is like their ads are so aggressive and frequent, so you're listening to like a rain playlist and they're like, hey, it's Home Depot, get to know us.
And you're like, fuck off. I'm trying to fucking calm down. Don't need fucking Home Depot in my life right now.
At least with YouTube, like you can kind of skip the ads, but the thing is with their interface, how they get you is you have to stay on the screen to keep that video going. Like you can't exit out of the app. So,
which is very smart on their part.
Yeah,
good job, YouTube.
Yeah, I just have to put it in my pocket while I'm listening to music. But that's my reasoning for why I use it so much. And I actually deleted it just to stay faithful to you guys and like stay faithful to the challenge. But it's back.
You're like, but I re-downloaded and everything's fine again.
Yeah, it was fine before because we're morally superior.
Yeah, and we're fine again now.
Yeah.
One thing that I remember reading in this book that I was just like, what the fuck, is that surgical teams in 8 hospitals adopted a simple pre-procedure checklist and then reduced death rates by 40% because they used a checklist. What the fuck? How are doctors not already doing this?
I
don't trust anyone, guys. Don't trust anyone. Because also, I went to the doctor the other week. And then they like gave me a prescription, and then I was like, okay, 2 weeks have gone by, it's not working. They were like, oh, we misdiagnosed you, my bad, try this now.
We're like, what the?
I'm like, what the fuck? like, get away from me. Like, my body is not for you to experiment on.
I feel like doctors are humans too, and we kind of put doctors on a pedestal, but yeah, they make mistakes, even stupid ones. And like the most profound thing that anybody's ever said to me about like doctor-patient relationships is that like for the patient, like usually seeing the doctor, that's like one of the biggest events in their life, like especially if you're in the hospital for a very serious thing. But to you, like to the doctor, you're just like a fraction of their day.
Yeah.
So
that's true.
I'm glad you didn't die.
Oh my gosh, me too.
I can't do this by myself.
I mean, you wouldn't be able to. This is
Literally.
Yeah, it's co-hosted, so.
For my photo free day, you know what happened?
What happened?
Because like it's not really, I don't really take a lot of photos, except maybe like when I'm hiking or traveling. But like on an everyday basis, that's not really an issue for me.
Yeah, it's mostly just like for me, landscape, dogs and kids.
Yeah,
Like, cute stuff.
yeah, cute stuff.
Wow stuff.
So I didn't think that day was going to be that hard. But that day, one of my coworkers, I work in a hotel. One of my coworkers talked to me, and he was like, "Hey, are you hungry?" I'm like, "Yeah, kind of." And he like got something from the kitchen, and it was a full plate of food. And I'm like, "Oh, I feel so loved right now. I want to take a picture of it."
You know, actually, one thing that I have been noticing for myself that's like similar to like food pictures that people take is like I used to do that all the time. I used to take pictures of my food and post it on like my Instagram stories. Yeah, I don't take pictures of food anymore. But my really good friend, that's like her thing, is like before we can eat, like wherever we go, it doesn't matter if we're just like getting coffee or like having dinner or like getting drinks, she has to take a picture of everything, which I used to do too, but now that I don't do it, it's like very freeing. It's so nice.
Yeah, you're much more present. But to me, it wasn't about the food.
It was just about capturing the essence of the gesture.
Yeah, exactly.
Aww, that's so sweet.
The essence of the gesture is like my favorite band.
Mine too. We should go to an Essence of the Gesture concert. Guys, it's not a real band.
It's not. We're joking. This is a joke.
Yeah. But we should totally start a band called The Essence of the Gesture. It's a great name.
Yeah.
It's a little wordy. It's a little multiple syllables-y. But that's fine. We'll work with it. We'll roll with it. We'll rock and roll with it.
So instead of like taking a picture of it, I actually just ate it. And it was actually nice. I felt so loved, like with every bite.
Aww, that's so great.
Yeah, it was very sweet. So what about your other days?
Honestly, they kind of blended together a little bit because I was already really like monitoring myself and my phone usage especially. So each challenge was not like super challenging.
It wasn't drastic.
Yeah, exactly. It wasn't drastic. But I do have to say that while I was doing the challenge, so the challenge was 7 days, based on like my screen time that was recorded, I saved 4 hours and 12 minutes of screen time just by doing the challenge.
Yeah, over the 7 days.
Over the 7 days compared to like the week before. So like it was 100% effective. It was just like a lot easier than I thought it would be. And like the challenges are not like super challenging. They just call them challenges.
Yeah, she doesn't again advocate for like anything drastic. It's just like getting to know your digital behavior. And I love how she could adapt this to all kinds of lifestyles. Like there was a portion of the book where she talked about a breastfeeding mom, and she's like, I don't really have a commute. Like the farthest I get is like to the refrigerator. So they said like, yeah, absolutely, your walk to the refrigerator, that totally counts as a commute, and don't use your phone.
Yeah.
So I thought that was like very considerate.
Yeah, it's just like the book is less about like making you do these like strict things and stick to a schedule, stick to the challenges and stuff, than more about getting you to think about your own usage of your cell phone.
Yeah, and actually during the digital detox week, I think that was like episode 11 or something, my record was 19 minutes screen time. And then this week I actually did 10 minutes.
10 minutes of screen time for 1 day.
Total.
That's fucking bonkers. Like, seriously.
I know.
Before I, like, was even conscious of how much time I was spending on my phone, I could easily do, like, 2 hours on Instagram, like, in one sitting. Just,
Absolutely.
like, half watching whatever's on the TV.
So easy. Or you're, like, on your computer and then you reach for your phone.
Yeah, but for, like, no reason.
Yeah, it's the smaller computer.
Yeah.
So you're like, oh, there's another one. I'll pick that up.
Definitely. And actually, one thing that I noticed about myself during the challenge was that I started enjoying, like, other forms of media a lot more. Like, I would 100%, like, actually watch TV shows.
Yes.
Instead of, like, be on my phone while watching TV shows.
Yes.
And it was made the show a lot funnier, which makes sense.
Obviously.
Yeah, because I'm, like, actually paying attention.
Yeah.
But it was really cool. I really liked it.
Yeah, and I noticed that I would reach for my phone in moments where I wasn't feeling, like, mentally good. Mm-hmm. And it was good to realize that, because then I would just, like, not reach for it, and I would sit there and be uncomfortable, and I'd try to figure out what the hell was going on instead of, like, patching it up with Instagram or whatever.
Yeah, like, distracting yourself from whatever's going on.
And the 7th challenge, the one on the last day, is the most interesting for me.
Yeah, that one I think came out of... Well, not came out of nowhere, but it was, like, definitely a departure from what you were doing the first 6 days.
Yeah, well, it was based on the study that was mentioned earlier in the book, like I said. And the challenge is to do something boring, either to watch, like, a kettle boiling, like, put the kettle on and just stand there and watch it, or write a series of zeros and ones on a small piece of paper and keep writing until you fill it up. So that's gonna activate your boredom, and then after, you're gonna try to think about, like, a question that's been bugging you for a while, and you're trying to think of solutions to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it could be, like, something existential, like, what do I want to do with my career, or it could be, like, what's, like, a trivial thing? Like, what do I want to cook for dinner tonight?
Yeah, it could be literally anything.
Yeah, it's just something that's been bugging you and makes you go to that phone whenever you try to think of a solution.
Yeah.
So what did you do for that day?
So I ended up just putting a pot on the stove to boil. It was unbelievably boring.
Did you, like, do something with the water, or is it just specifically for the challenge?
What do you mean?
Like, when the water boiled, did you, like, do anything with the water, or were you like...
Oh, no. I used it to, like, water my plants after it cooled down. But I was like, I don't know, it felt like a waste. So I was like, should I put pasta in it? I don't know. Kind of hungry.
That's what I was talking about. It's so weird just to be like, I'm gonna put a pot of water on just to watch it.
Yeah, and, like, I almost put, like, salt in the water. Because, you know, you, like, salt your water
before the pasta.
To make it boil faster and, like, all that good stuff. And so I was like, I don't actually need to do that right now, because I'm just gonna fucking watch it. So I actually have these, like, bar stools, and so I brought a bar stool up to the stove, and I was just sitting there, and I was like, this feels so weird. And it was, like, total silence, just bubbling sounds, and I was like, I am bored out of my fucking mind.
Mission accomplished.
Yeah. When it was 30 minutes, I was like, oh, thank God.
Wait, it was boiling for 30 minutes? Or it took a while?
Well, I let myself be bored for 30 minutes.
Very good.
It was really fucking hard.
So what's the question that you posed to yourself?
It was something about my career path. Mm-hmm. And so I was, like, trying to figure out, I was like, okay, I'm trying to put together a portfolio. What's the best way to go about this? Because I don't really have an experience putting together, like, a professional portfolio. So I figured out a list of things that I could do and knock out of the park, and, like, people that I could talk to, and it was really good. It was super helpful.
Yeah, did you feel like you want to do that again?
Go through the exercise again? Mm-hmm. I feel like it's definitely a useful tool if I am, like, battling with something that's taking a lot of, like, mental energy away from me. Like, if I ever have a big decision that I just cannot even begin to dig into, then I would totally 100% use it as a tool to, like, help me figure out what I need to do. Mm-hmm. How about you?
I asked career questions too, but because I just let myself be creative and silly. Mm-hmm. Like, it started to go into funny directions. So I'm not sure if I, like, found an answer specifically, but it definitely made me more creative.
Yeah?
One of the things I wanted to do was, like, do, you know, Kitchen Nightmares with Gordon Ramsay, where he, like, goes into restaurants and stuff and, like, tries to fix what's going on.
Yeah.
I wanted to do that, but for spas.
Ooh.
Yeah. Like, what's wrong with your business model? What's wrong with your supplies? Why aren't you retaining clients? Like, maybe it's your price point. Like,
oh my god, you'll be the next, like, spa titan. Be like a spa mogul.
I love it. I love it so much.
And I'll come in and design all the spas.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that'll be great. We'll have our own reality TV show.
It's so good.
It'll be Spa Help Us. No. Or self-spa.
Spa rehab.
Spa something. If you think of a great name for a reality TV show, please tweet at us or email us. We'd love to hear.
What was... Oh, did I already ask you what the hardest for you was?
The hardest day?
The hardest day, yeah.
Probably when I was just, like, watching it boil, but it's not like it was actually hard. I was just bored.
So is this, like, a good... Would we say this is a good book? Was it a good experience? A good read?
Okay, so I feel like, and this could just totally be me personally, but I feel like the way that the title is and, like, the subtitle... I was really expecting it to be more oriented towards, like, things in general and not just, like, smartphone use. Like, I felt like the topic was very broad, but I didn't know it was going to be such a specific, like, thing that we were going to be focusing on. I thought it would be, like, more comprehensive. But at the same time, I mean, I really liked the book. The writing was great, and she pulls from a lot of different, like, scientific sources and, scientific people? Scientists? Scientists? I don't know. Psychologists and all that stuff. So it was, like, really well written, and I really, like, liked what she was saying, but I feel like the challenge, is a very good start, but not, like, the end-all, be-all.
Yeah, I feel like the book was very well put together, very well researched. There were certain parts where... I mean, obviously the whole thing is very theoretical still. There's no clear conclusions, and we're still not sure what smartphone use can do for us.
Yeah.
And I feel like this was more of an exploration into the topic rather than a conclusion.
Yeah.
However, I really like the challenges. You should do them if you feel like... Or even just, like, if you don't feel like you're spending too much time on your smartphone, I feel like it's a good way to, like, shake things up in your life and make yourself more creative or more productive.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I don't know if I would necessarily recommend that you guys read this book.
Yeah, but do the challenges.
And the great part is that the challenge is available on...
the Moment app.
Yeah, the Moment app on iPhone. I'm not sure if it's available on Android. But if you get on there, it, like, does all the work for you, and it will give you a reminder every day, like, oh, this is your task, and it's just so easy to complete. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it for this book for me.
Yeah, me too. I like doing the zeros and ones, and I'll probably keep doing them. I like coming up with random stuff, but yeah, I'll keep you posted if I ever have answers to my career and other big life questions.
Other breakthroughs?
Yeah, I mean, if it's that big of a breakthrough, I'll probably stop doing this podcast too.
You bitch.
What if my breakthrough is, like, I have to go live in Tibet or something?
I mean, I don't know. I could like Tibet. Damn.
Sorry.
You guys, she's leaving me behind.
No.
I'll be holding auditions for a new co-host.
You jumped to that conclusion so quickly. So quickly. Okay, we have to go before our friendship deteriorates further.
We'll see you guys next time on the podcast, but if you're interested in knowing what we have up next, stay tuned.
Try your best to live your best life, guys.
Take care.
Bye.